I just finished editing my first video on this channel for a while now, and I hope I edited. The editing is really rough, but I just wanted to get this up. I have to render and then upload it to the channel. It took me a while to log back into this channel because it's been a couple of years, but I got it through. I had to change my password and remind and all that. My brother called me just to make sure that I have everything I need. I went grocery shopping yesterday, and I felt, I felt, I just, it was very stressful. My back went completely. I also have an open sore on the bottom of my foot. This is a complaining section of the vlog, and I'm all wobbly. And I just hurt. I felt like crying while I was inside the supermarket. But I got a lot of things. One of the things that has to happen right now is you start getting everything you need for Passover, because Orthodox Jews will know this, but basically you have a completely different set of dishes for Passover if you keep kosher, and you also can't have anything that's I guess has wheat in it. I guess that's how you would clarify it. So I have that, and I did most of the shopping. I have a few more things, dry things, like pantry things that I'm missing. But that makes me feel calm, because if it's just a few things, I can probably ask somebody to pick it up for me. And if not, then we'll see. But I don't have to do a major shopping. It's now 3:30 in the afternoon. It seems to be fairly quiet outside. I think though people have started going out just a little bit to do the panic shopping that people always do, because they're going to supposedly start these new restrictions at 5 o'clock in the afternoon today, which will limit people from going out even more. Although if you go to the grocery store, that's allowed. You can go up to 100 meters away from home. I think that's going to be the major new restriction, because you're still allowed to go out to work if you're working. Yeah, so that's happening. What I'm going to do right now is, while this is rendering, I have neglected home a little bit. I'm going to go do a major cleanup I have cats, and I'm going to do a major cleanup where their cat litter box is sitting, and I'm also going to clean my office because it's terrible. That's my makeup corner in the end there, if you're wondering. And then this is all my, it's a table that wraps around, and as you can see, this is where I sit. And next to me, and a good demonstration of more mess, this is my Muffin, and she's always with me. I have two more cats. They're around in the house somewhere. They have what's considered, and regarding pets, anything they're still allowing for pet stores to be open for deliveries and shopping, because those are considered food. And also immediate veterinarian assistance is also in that category. Yeah, what else? There is a slight concern. In Israel, there's a very big community of people who feed the cats on the street. There's a huge population of cats on the streets here. This has always been an ongoing thing, and there is a problem with that, because supposedly you're not allowed to. Some people do not feed in their immediate area. They feed further away from home, and they're wondering how they need to deal with this. So that is one concern that has been needs to be addressed, and it's yet to be seen how this is going to be addressed. Some activists have communicated and tried to find solutions. As far as I think, they should do it kind of like what they did in Italy, where you're not even allowed to go out to the grocery store unless you declare it on a site or an app. And I think that if they do like a certain thing, I think they should allow certain people to go out if they request, and it should be something given by the local authorities, maybe the local police. I think that would be perfectly fine. Yeah, so that's what's going on. So I'm going to do some cleanup, and I'm also going to maybe put a laundry in, and the main thing that I need right now is mainly like socks and underwear. I think that's the main thing. And I try to avoid watching the news too much, and I will speak about that. I think I'll make a separate video about that. Oh God, this is wobbly. This is gonna be terrible. What do I do? What I do watch, because I am a news junkie. That's always been me. That's the reason why I study journalism and communications, and maybe one of the reasons I do YouTube, because it's kind of into it. But and so it's a separate video about that. I try to limit that right now most days, and especially days that I actually want to get some studying done. And that's the book here next to me. I am a Coke junkie, just in case you're wondering. So there's always a bottle around, lying around. Although I've been trying to drink more water. So, and even then, I drink one less bottle of Coke, but I drink 3 bottles of water. I tend to drink far more water than I do Coke. I know that sounds funny, but that's just how it is. Yeah, so I'm going to do some cleanup and stuff around. This is so fun to me. I haven't done this in such a long time, and it just makes me happy. It just makes me happy to video and vlog and edit and get something on my channel. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna be time left. It's gonna be at least 40 minutes. It's a while. I hope it also comes out right, because last time I did some editing on my other channel, I kind of got it screwed up because I forgot the criteria that I want for rendering, and made a big mess, and didn't have a video in one version, and then I didn't have an actual video. I just had like 15 seconds. So yeah, I'm hoping this will come out, because I really want to upload it today. So I decided to tackle my kitchen and living room first. I've been focusing about eating over in that corner, so the floor is kind of dirty over there. I'm going to take care of that. And also, I kind of have groceries laid out, and I should put those away. And there's Timmy in the window, watching out, looking out for the quarantine. So everything here on the table, that's in packages, is for Passover. So they have to be separated from the other food. So I have a place in the kitchen that I'm going to put this. As I said, I have the majority of what I need. I could probably use a few more like canned goods and stuff like that. And then there's always dairy and vegetables, which I'll get. It is 2 weeks away, so I don't need to store them now. Those are going to be available. But what I probably should be getting is another package of matzot, because there's no bread, so that's kind of a staple. And maybe kosher Pesach, Passover kosher pasta. It's made out of corn flour, or, yes, hello, potato flour or something like that. He's just being very lovely. And he's not supposed to be on the table, but everybody's getting a pass. And then the canned goods I need to put away. And the kitchen, I don't accumulate that many dirty dishes. I really don't, because I'm just one person, and I'm pretty organized about that. Hello. But I just got really lazy and depressed in the past week, so I've kind of been putting that off. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Clear out the kitchen, clean up a little bit. I think that's also going to make me feel good, and yeah. So this is what I did today. I am actually pretty pleased. I pulled up most of the shelves in my refrigerator, and I cleaned them. And I also reorganized and got rid of old stuff. I'm actually really pleased. As you can see, I'm a big vegetable eater, so that happened. And as you can see also, I'm hoarding insulin. So yeah, my assumption is that I can always pop over to the store next to home and pick up some vegetables and a little bit of dairy. So I have my dairy, I have some cheese. I did miss out, there's something there in the back that's expired almost a month ago, but it's been closed, and I'm wondering if I can still use it in cooking. It smells perfectly fine. So that's probably what I'm going to do with it. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased. That's my homemade jam that I made last month, and it's beautiful. It's just so tasty. You have no idea. And that's after giving away 3 of these jars, these little jars. It made a nice quantity. So I'm really pleased about that. And I have a package of tofu. I actually just went away with eating a really unhealthy little bakery thing he's in Israel. They're called barekas, and they're really unhealthy for you. But that's the only thing I felt like eating so far today. The thing is because I'm studying, I'm so focused on that, and I don't get hungry too quickly. only thing I feel like really having is ice cream, and I don't have any ice cream in the house right now. In fact, I don't really even have chocolate, which is kind of odd. Yeah, that's a shame. That's a bummer. But what can you do, right? Maybe that's a good thing that I don't have any at home. But paperwork, because I'll probably eat a salad a little bit later. And I'm probably going to also, I have mushrooms that are a little bit dried up, but they're perfectly fine. So I'm probably going to cook them into something. I want to use those, but I'm really pleased about my refrigerator today. It looks really nice, and everything is right in front of me. And yeah, they're reporting about the new restrictions, and they're saying that only one person should be leaving the house to go grocery shopping. They haven't had like a real way of enforcing it. I mean, nobody's going to know if you've left the house more than once already that day. And people are going to work. I mean, my neighbor who's a contractor he parks next to my home, so I can see him leaving every time. So I don't know what's going to be. I think the main thing is they're saying people don't wander about, and also they're talking about having roadblocks, but it's really, really weird because people who need assistance, let's say I needed assistance, okay? So I needed my brother or my sister to help me. We don't live in the same city, so how can they help me? How can they? And I'm considered, well, what's another word for crippled? Disabled. I'm considered disabled, so how can they help me? How is there an official approval of that? You know what I mean? So that's yet to be seen. Yeah. Finishing up cleaning here. I also cleaned up in my office. Woohoo! I can sit and study. I study mostly at night. And, yeah, that's pretty... It's also evening time, so my cats are kind of going crazy. So, wow, that was a flip. Oh, me? I didn't do anything. So I decided to eat. I'm having bread eggs because this bread was a few days old and I wanted to use it up. And the other thing is maybe it's because I was in the other room, but it finally started going up. It wasn't 95. So I'm going to check it in my regular glucometer right now. This is my continuous glucose monitoring system. This sucks. I've been really careful about my sugar levels. Like, I'm a bad diabetic. I really am. But I have been really careful right now. Really careful. Because the last thing I feel like doing is going through DKA. I think that's what scares me the most, is having DKA and not the coronavirus. Because if I end up in DKA, I'm going to have to go into the hospital. And right now, it's really not ideal. I mean, one of the worst places to go if you want to get the coronavirus, is the hospital. Hi, my little girl. So it's the end of the day. It's the end of the day or the beginning of the day, depending on how you look at it. Hi. And she keeps trying to crawl onto me, and that's why she's giving me this dirty look right now. It's a little bit after 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm editing my first video on my other channel for months now. This is it's a haul video. I've mentioned before, I have no income right now. I'm spending no money, let alone haul videos. These were orders that I did, and they came in, and I filmed this video last month before everything kind of went haywire. So I decided I do want to upload it, but I did put a disclaimer in the beginning of the video. I love editing videos. There's something about YouTube that just makes me so happy, and I don't want to give it up. So I have to think about how to do my channel right now a little bit less haul-oriented, less consumer, but I don't think that should be a problem, because I have a lot of material that has to do with reorganizing and stuff like that, because I've been filming. I moved and I organized my makeup, which, as you can see there, makes me very happy. I keep saying a lot, I'm sorry, but I took off my makeup ready for the day, and I haven't put on makeup to begin with until today for a very long time. That was funny. They have new restrictions in place. They are no longer allowing people to go beyond 100 meters. They've closed down any store that's not drugs or a grocery store, because they did have other things opened up till now. They will have pet stores open. They are going to have a lot of deliveries available, and workplaces. They have not shut down workplaces, and I think that's, I was trying to understand, because the Prime Minister keeps saying, if you don't, if it gets worse, we're going to have a full shutdown. And I think a full shutdown means, I was trying to understand what's the difference between now and then. The difference is we won't be able to leave the house 100 meters away, and he will probably shut down workplaces, which will just be terrible. I have to be honest, I've reached a point in my head, and I'm in a risk group, that I'm thinking, screw this, just let's go back to real life, and if we get sick, we'll deal with it, and that'll be it. But I know that that's not a rational thought, and I know that that's not how it should take place, and I understand the idea behind staying home, especially being in a risk group, but it's just that I feel that we are not going to be able to recover from this. And personally, in my current condition, also physically and financially, I think, and I think this is true for a lot of people, especially in our economy, we are not going to be able to recoup from this so quickly, and that scares me. That really scares me. We see what other countries in Europe are doing, what kind of sever packages are offering, and what Canada is doing. And right now, I wish I lived in Canada, because I'm looking at that, I'm like totally appalled. I don't get anything for my disabilities. That's a whole other issue, but although they've recognized that I have a medical condition, they have determined that it doesn't affect my ability to work, which was bullshit, because at the time that I was going through that, I was completely not bedbound, but I pretty much couldn't work, and it took me years to build myself up again and build my work ability back up. It scares me also that will deteriorate, and it's important to leave the house, and it's important for me to see people, and it's important for my self-esteem. And I know that when there was a period of time where I was depressed and not happy, and I didn't work, and I didn't have financial stability, that I tended to get a lot more DKAs. I know that there's a connection between your mental state and how you feel and your physical state, and I know that my body just likes producing these little things called ketones when I get stressed out, because they're affected by stress hormones. I understand the biology and the physiology behind that. It scares me because I don't want to end up in the hospital right now. Although when I get TK, it's usually not that severe, because I catch it right in the beginning. A lot of times I can catch it right when it starts, and I can take care of it at home before it actually becomes a medical emergency. Even when I do go in, it tends to be between 3 to 5 days of hospitalization. I would feel guilty going in and forcing medical teams to deal with me when they have these corona patients on their hands, and so-called real patients. And I would also be concerned that my condition would deteriorate, which is something I've never really feared from. It's weird. I feel that it's just very confusing and very difficult, and processing all of this is really hard. And yeah, I'm going to finish editing my video and adding my disclaimer to it, and probably uploading it so I can release it on Friday, and that makes me happy. And yeah, that's going to be the last update for the 25th. I'm obviously not going to upload this on the 25th, because I've uploaded the first video, and this is probably going to be uploaded at the end of the 26th or the 27th, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Hi, Muff. So it's after 5 o'clock in the morning, which means that my psycho soul can go off and listen to the radio at this point, because usually regular broadcast starts around 5 up to 5. They have like podcasts from playing, and they don't have a live broadcast. They have podcasts playing. It was, I think, around 2:30. Can't sleep. I think it was around 2:30 that you could hear there were 4 young men. I don't know if they were over 20 or not. One of them was in the car, and they were all huddled up in the corner of the street here, and they were talking in the top of their voice at 2:30 in the morning. And I swear to God, like, absolutely no self-awareness. And after a while, the police came and said, "Go home. It's quarantine." He said, "Now you're gonna all go home now." And they were really nice because it's and of course these young men were acting stupid. What? This quarantine? Really? Really? Now the thing is nobody would have called the police on them if they were silent. If they were a little bit quieter, nobody would have cared. But then again, you know, no self-awareness makes stupid. Ugh, God. And you don't see, it's always young men who do this. You never see young women do this. Oh, women. You really don't. It's always men. It makes you wonder really what goes through their head. I guess sleeping is kind of a privilege these days. I'm sleeping terrible. And at this point I've decided that whenever I fall asleep, I'm going to fall asleep. That's kind of the deal. And after one night that I decided I'm gonna stay up all night long, because I reached like 6 o'clock in the morning and said I can pull more, because then I can take a nap that's actually not too long, and actually go to sleep at nighttime. And that didn't work out eventually. I did take the nap, and I was really tired by the time it was evening the next day, but I couldn't fall asleep again. So it's just tired and grumpy. That happened. Yeah. So that was nighttime. So here's the deal. This morning, it's the 26th today. It's the 26th. I had a panic or anxiety attack. Hyperventilating, my foot couldn't stop fidgeting. I yelled at somebody on the phone. I'm going to venture out. I have some food at home. There are some shortages, but I want to try to pick up a few things. I have a feeling that we're getting close to doing a total shutdown. I heard from the news that this morning the big grocery store, what's it called? Owners were called into a meeting with somebody in the government. And I don't know what came out of that, but I just looked online and the different sites to see their availability for online. You can do online shopping, and then they deliver to you. And here's the thing: although it's been pretty ridiculous, and it was like a week ahead and 10 days ahead, now they don't even have any times available showing up, which kind of makes me feel suspicious. Now, I want to go out and just pick up a few things and pick up eggs, which are the current thing you can't get. One of the things that really ran out really quickly was pasta, for obvious reasons, especially because we're heading towards Passover, which means the entire grocery stores, the grocery stores at least, kind of change out their shelves and get prepared for that. So I'm going to go and try to pick up a few things. They're mainly on the non-essential item list. That means chocolate and ice cream, and I need that because I do sometimes deal by eating, and when I get cravings, I need stuff for that, and if I don't have stuff for that, it then erupts, and that's not going to do me very good. So I'm going to try to venture out. It's now 6 o'clock. I put on some clothes. I take out what I have to. I do have a mask, which then I get rid of. I don't try to use this too much, but yeah, we're going to go out. I feel so ridiculous. This is one of the most uncomfortable things in the world. It's a small grocery store, but I think that's why it had like pretty much anything you could need. So that was good, because they were doing in some grocery stores limiting the amount of eggs that you could get. But I got 4 packages, so I got a package for my friend,
And also pasta, as I said, has been kind of on the low side, so they had it, and I picked up 2 packages. I did get stuff that maybe I didn't need, and I did get a lot of chocolate. But I have flour, and I do have sugar at home. And I think that even if they start supplying us, they will supply us with sugar and flour and oil. This is so weird. It's just so surreal. I sanitize my hands when I finish my checkout, and then I always do it before I get in the car. And then I always do it before I touch my steering wheel. That's kind of the guidelines I'm working by. This is so uncomfortable, and every time it kind of moves, I have to play. Now, if you can see that, I'm wiggling my jaw in order to kind of make it go underneath my chin again. Because you're not supposed to touch the masks, people. If you have them on, don't touch them, because that's a wonderful way of getting bacteria on your mask. So yeah, that was fun. Not to be repeated. I think we're going to total shutdown today, tomorrow, or something like that. Ooh, the one thing I could have used was tuna. Okay, I don't eat very much tuna, but it's something that I can eat. And I do eat them every now and then. So I'm going to ask my friend when they go out to pick it up for me. So we'll see. Okay. Yep. This is panic shopping. I'm sure that everybody has done this several times since we have gone into Corona mode. Muffin, this is not for you. She can smell bread. So I need socks. I'm done from grocery shopping. How do I deal with grocery shopping? First of all, if I don't have a mask, I don't get, oh, it's dark in here. I don't get hyper about that. I just make, also with a mask, and even more so with a mask, I do really enforce the distancing, the actual physical distancing. I was, and people are for the most part really good about it. This guy was getting eggs, and this guy came, and like right next to me, was like touching me, and it's like, I told him off. He was getting his eggs. But my point is, anyways, so if I have a mask, I have a mask. If not, not. I don't get hyper about that. I don't have gloves on because they don't actually do anything for you. I just make a point of remembering that anything I'm touching outside can be a ground for not very good things. So, yeah. I do use alcohol gel. I try to make it as short as possible. I try to be really, really, really focused, and really, aware of myself, because then also I don't touch my face, which I do a lot. So I put my hair, I gather my hair so I don't have to keep doing this, pushing it back. When I get home, I take everything. When I come home, the first thing I do is remove the mask like you're supposed to, one ear, and directly into the garbage, because they are one-time use. And I wash my hands with soap and water. I use alcohol gel when I'm out. Then I put away anything that has to be put away immediately. So like dairy and frozen stuff. Anything else, I'll put away in the other room, especially if it's dry goods like pasta or something like that. I won't touch it for about 3 days. If it's bread or something like that, I will wipe it down, and I'm actually, the thing is, the bread is going into the freezer as a backup, so I'm not too worried about that. And then what I do is I change out of my clothes that I was wearing. I put away my bags. I put them outside. First of all, I put my bags away, then I take off my clothes and change into something else, and then I wash my hands again, because that's my procedure. And this is so funny, like there's going to start being YouTube videos about what I do when I go out. Follow me around. It's going to be really stupid, but that's what life is right now. So I changed it to my PJs. These are so comfortable, and even though I'm plus size, I'm so happy I have these. They fit me really well. So that's my procedure. I try not to freak out about it too much, but I am aware of certain things. Definitely if you're working outside the house, I would consider leaving your shoes at the entrance. Although I don't think that your shoes is what tracks in the virus, quite honestly, at least not coronavirus. But I wouldn't trace around in your house with shoes in any case. Something that Israelis we don't have that habit of taking off our shoes in the entrance to the house, because I think Americans are really good about it because they have wall-to-wall rugs, and here we don't. So yeah. But also changing out of your clothes. So many beeps and alerts here, huh? I would also consider changing out of your clothes, because you touch things, you move around, you touch the walls, you touch people, you don't even notice how often you do that. That would be the one thing that I would consider. Regarding the masks, I think you really have to consider it, and because I see people, and like, I had to keep adjusting my mask, and the only way to really do that is this kind of movement with my jaws in order to make it go fitting underneath my chin, because it was bugging me. Because what happens is it starts riding up, and then it's in my eyes, and I guess I don't have very low eyes considering in regard to my nose, so it was sitting here, and it kept flinging into my eyes, so it wasn't comfortable. So I keep having to adjust it, and as I said, you can't touch your mask, and everybody's touching their masks. There's no point. There's no point if you keep touching your mask. There really isn't. So, yeah. And of course, I have my famous redness going on right now because I think it's part of stress, but it's actually not too bad considering the fact that I had a small panic attack today. So, this usually is a big responder to when I don't feel well, either physically or emotionally. So,